Hi y'all, and welcome to Texas Real Food. My name is Stephanie, and today I want to talk to you about the long-term health risks of the typical American diet. Throughout this video, I will also explain what exactly the American diet is and how it came to be that way. When thinking of the typical American diet, the classic food pyramid might come to mind. While these guides show an ideal eating habit system, they often end up being something aspired to, but not quite achieved. The amount of change these guides have seen throughout the years also shows how proper food intake isn't an exact science. The first USDA food guide was released all the way back in 1916. The first guide applied only to small children and was aimed at helping parents decide which foods to provide for them. The follow-up didn't come until 1940s, but was now considered applicable to both children and adults. This guide was called the Basic 7. The 7 necessary food groups were broken up into 1, green or yellow vegetables, 2, oranges, tomatoes, grapefruit, or raw cabbage, 3, potatoes or any other fruits or vegetables, 4, milk products, not yet called dairy, 5, meat, fish, eggs, 6, grains, 7, butter. You'll notice how different this guide is from the future guides to follow. This guide also stipulated that any other foods may be eaten as well, as long as you have had something from each of these categories. From the mid-50s all the way back to 1979, the Basic 7 were replaced by the Basic 4. The 4 components were dairy, meat, vegetables, and fruit, and grains. Oddly enough, this particular guide just might be the closest thing to the USDA's current food guide. This further highlights how much guesswork and unsure science is seemingly involved in the creation of these guides. The 70s also saw the release of more relaxed versions of the Basic 4 guide, which added in a section for fats, sweets, and alcohol. The 80s introduced a shape to the USDA food guide, but not a pyramid yet. First, a wheel. The 80s food wheel was similar to the 70s relaxed guide. The major difference included the separation of fruits and vegetables into 2 distinct categories, and the inclusion of recommended quantities by calorie level. The food pyramid was introduced in 1992 and would be the standard for a number of years, receiving a proportion update in 2005, but retaining the same general structure. The most recent guide, the one still in use today, came into circulation in 2011. This guide, dubbed the My Plate Guide, simplifies food recommendations back down to the 4 basic categories of fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins, with a side helping of dairy. How closely does the actual standard American diet align with the USDA's recommendations? The answer is actually very little. Some people stick to the USDA guidelines, but the overwhelming majority of Americans do not. The State of U.S. Health proposes that the standard American diet is the largest threat to individual health. An unhealthy diet is a contributing factor in the death of approximately 678,000 American deaths each year. This makes dietary restrictions the leading cause of death in the United States. As of 2016, the average American was estimated to receive 63% of their calories from refined and processed foods, junk foods, 25% from animal products, and 12% from plant-based products. As bad as this sounds, it is actually even worse. A whole 50% of the average American's plant-based food consumption is estimated to come solely from French fries. It is clear to see from these numbers that the standard American diet, abbreviated fittingly as SAD, is unhealthy. The SAD diet carries with it a number of long-term health risks. The most common condition associated with the diet is obesity, which disproportionately affects the US versus other countries. Obesity as a result of this diet is said to most directly affect adolescents and females. Diabetes is a major concern with the SAD diet, and a direct correlation has been shown time and time again, specifically type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is far from the only disease that the SAD puts Americans at risk of. Crohn's disease has been directly linked to the diet as well. Perhaps of most concern is the linkage to cancer. Prostate cancer has the most direct correlation to the SAD diet. And again, the United States shows numbers far higher than other developed countries. These already poor eating habits are made worse by the compounding issues generated by the industrial agriculture businesses. Overuse of pesticides and herbicides on crops, sick animals, overly treated with antibiotics, and fed unnatural diets sent through meat processing, reliance on GMOs, etc., are all exacerbating the already poor eating habits of the average American. The long-term health risks of the American diet are unquestionably dangerous at best, and potentially deadly at worst. Serious change is needed on a national scale. This is a correctable issue. Proper food literacy and the right food choices can give everyone the tools necessary to alter their eating habits to a more responsible and healthy diet. Thank you for watching this video at Texas Real Food. If you learned something or found something useful, then do us a favor and like this video. We would love to hear your opinions, so head on down to the comment section and join the conversation. Be sure to subscribe and check out the other videos here at Texas Real Food.